Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is Aldebaran, the Catastrophe by Leo. Obviously, you can see the Cinebook right here. So this is a French comic album. The Leo himself is not French; he is actually Brazilian. And this is a kind of long-running series of bande dessinée that have been going on for a while. So let me do a real quick background on this book first. So first off, Cinebook. Yes, I 100% understand, especially for those of you in the know over in Europe. Cinebook censors a lot of French comics, or I should say European comic albums that it publishes. And it sucks, but over here in America, this is all I got. I don't really have any other option other than to pick up the original French version, right? Which I don't read French, though at this rate, with how good these French comic books are, I might have to learn how to read French. But yeah, this book right here, Leo was born in Brazil. He was an engineering college student and then had to leave Brazil for political reasons. Moved to Europe, and in Europe he discovered comic albums and decided that this is what he wanted to do. So Aldebaran is his series. I think he is, so the actual Aldebaran series is about 3 books, about 6 tales overall. Then it goes to another planet, Betelgeuse, and then I think he's in another planet in the next one. This is only like part of it. There's a bunch of more, but anyhow, this is science fiction at its finest, and I will say this: this comic album, it took a while for it to grow on me. When I was reading through the first, I would say 20 or so pages, I would be honest, I was kind of slogging through it. I was a little bored, and it's not an insult to this. I would still say, for me personally, I like the other French comic books that I did, Thorgal and Blueberry, a lot more than this one. But it's still a fascinating book, interesting concept. And you can tell Leo was formerly in the technical fields because a lot of stuff here is very interesting. So yeah, one of the hallmarks of this series that you'll notice is just the fantastical beasts that are kind of in it. Like, I think I'm just going to jump around real quick here just to kind of show you. Like, where's another one? Like, yeah, weird shit that's in this book. Yeah, he knows how to draw, like, very weird creatures. And it's really imaginative and fascinating. And it really gives a lot of life to this world. Yeah, like weird animals like this. But anyway, the concept of the story is humanity has kind of sent like a group of people to settle stars across the galaxy, right? And unfortunately, in the middle of transporting people to colonize this area, for some reason they lose the ability to do lightspeed travel, and all communication is cut off. And this sort of splinter group of humanity essentially grows on its own, separate of Earth. And Earth is almost like a legend to them, like 100 years ago, right? And it's a really fascinating and well thought out setting. In fact, in general, one thing I have to like really praise this book for is the setting development and the world building and the background. What I think bugs me about this book is there's 2 things I can't really get into. Number one, the main character, Mark Sorensen, he's kind of annoying, like really, really unlikable. And I'm sure, because French comic books tend to be a bit on the decompressed side, not all of them, but some of them do, because they know they're going to get like many books and albums to kind of explain themselves and grow the series as it goes. And I'm sure this character probably gets better as time goes on, but it's really a slog to kind of deal with this character. Very unlikable. The other character that is prominently shown as Kim, the one with the kind of weird spiky hair here. The other thing that's kind of a little bit odd are faces. In the way Leo draws faces can be, very good and at times a little odd. And there's a bit of an uncanny feel in certain areas. Like, you almost see like the same eye and the same facial expression like used over and over. To be fair, this is his first book in the series, so the criticism has to be with eyes towards the long goal. That's one of the nice things about the French, Belgium, and Europeans in general. They tend to look at the long run, right? How does the artist and the story grow over the run, whereas in America we're a little impatient, right? Though lately, Americans have been kind of copying that, but for the wrong reasons. But yeah, man, there's like really fantastic fantasy. This series is really like true science fiction, and it's kind of nice. And in a way, it flows more like a novel than it does like prose, rather than comic books in a sense. And especially, I should say, in comparison to the American tradition, right, of dynamic panels and shots and high intensity action, even like the manga tradition of high intensity action and stuff. And it's not necessarily bad if you're really in for that kind of flow in a comic book. Aldebaran, for pure science fiction, is really cool. That being said, it just is kind of a slog getting through it. There's a lot of like subplots with like governments and stuff. I do not know, by the way, what panels were censored. I'm going to assume panels with nudity and sex were censored, because that tends to be what happens with English translations. But yeah, this is kind of my only choice for English translations in the United States. I really wish that the French, or I don't know, some European company would just make a real translation company or publisher of these comic books and distribute them in the United States. I'm not sure why that's never really happened. I know Epic Comics back in the day. That's why my copies of Blueberry are by Epic Comics, which is an imprint of Marvel back in the 80s. Unfortunately, there isn't really a company that does that right now. I think Humanoids, Humanity First, freaking Mark Waid's company does it, but so far they're only doing Mobius's stuff, which is, he's famous and great for a reason, but there's a lot of French comic albums out there, a lot of them. So, there's a bunch that could be published, but a lot of them, it's just, you're not really available. Even this stuff right here, right? Like this, what happened is there's another company, I think in Virginia, that basically imports this from the UK, but these have to basically get shipped over from the UK because they're just not printed here natively in the United States, which is really unfortunate. I'm not sure why the Europeans, the French, Belgium, Italians don't really feel that there's a market for it here in the United States. I think there is. This is really fascinating stuff. I feel like the place where French comics would really thrive is if they were put in the same shelves on like Barnes and Noble, Books A Million, as like sci-fi and pulp. Because I think that's where they would truly thrive. I think if you put them next to Marvel, DC, or manga, I think people would get the wrong idea. The real audience and crowd for these French comic books are people that read sci-fi and graphic novels and things like that. Because honestly, reading through this, it really feels like I'm reading a great sci-fi novel, except now I have art. So it's pretty nice like that. Yeah, I've bumbled on along. Long story short, kind of has a little bit of a slow build-up, and you kind of have to get acclimated to Leo's art. But Aldebaran is definitely a recommend. If you see it available in a form that you can get in the United States, totally check it out. If you are a Brit, definitely check it out, because you can get it a hell of a lot cheaper than us Americans through Cinebook. Or if you can read French, just get the original version, and then you won't be fucking censored. So, get on that train right there. Anyhow, try to keep this video a little short, not because I didn't like it, mainly because my last video kind of went on too long for me. Try to stay under 10 minutes so I don't babble on too long. But yeah, Aldebaran, that's the review. Let me know what you think. If you like this review, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. If you got any comments about Aldebaran or this review, leave it down below, and I will see you next time.